Good evening. My name is Julie Limine. My mother was diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer in 2008, meaning it had spread to other parts of her body. And it was a pretty poor diagnosis, prognosis. It had spread to her bones, her uterus, it was everywhere. So when we had gone into Dana Farber and met with an oncologist, I was so grateful to have this oncologist. Because she came in to us and said that you're going to be living with cancer. So clearly it told us that she was eventually going to die from this cancer, but that she could live a good quality of life as best as she could with this oncologist's help. She never gave her a deadline, and I was so grateful for that, because that could have put my mother into a desperate mode, a depressed mode, that counting the days, that this person was giving her. But that wasn't the case. She told her, you're going to be living with cancer. And so she was placed on a study drug, and she did very, very well on the study drug, more than they had even expected. She did very well on it for between 4 and 5 years, and she lived in Massachusetts. So I would drive up to Massachusetts, bring her into Dana Farber, bring her home, and come back to Rhode Island for 4 years. The 5th year, she was told that she couldn't live alone anymore. She had had a pulmonary embolism, and so it was dangerous for her to be living alone. She had a choice to either go into a assisted living or some care place, or I offered to take her to Rhode Island to live with us. And she chose to live with us. And I have to tell you that those were the best days. Even those days I was driving up and back were the best days of my life with my mother. We spent so much time together, and her grandchildren spent a lot of time, and then every day with us for another 4.5 years, completely unexpected. And she was afraid of this bill when it came up. I don't know, it was 6 or 5 years ago when this first came up. She actually testified. She came and testified and told the representatives that she was terrified of this bill, because suppose at that first diagnosis they told her she had 6 months to a year and offered her a way out. She would have missed the birth of her first great-grandchild and the birth of her second great-grandchild 3 days before she passed. I usually bring a picture. It's a beautiful picture. It's her last physical facial expression of a smile, meeting her great-grandchild as he came home from the hospital at 3 days old. That would all have been missed. And she just enjoyed her life so much, knowing she had cancer and knowing it was going to take her, but she lived her life. And she lived her life with our help. Not that I'm any great individual, but I'm her daughter. She sacrificed for me so many years. Why wouldn't I do that back for her? And the oncologists were so pleased, because they expected her to die years prior to that. But they never said it, and that was the key. They never said, it's going to be over in 1 year to 3 years, because it's pretty bad. It's all in your bones. It's in your uterus. You might have severe pain. None of that happened. She didn't have pain. Even up to the last days when hospice was in our house and they were trying to give her morphine, and she said, no, I don't have any pain. I don't want that morphine. She was able to verbally express that, but what if she wasn't able to? And what if I wasn't there to advocate? They could have taken her life prior to her meeting her second great-grandchild, which was one of the most special moments of our family's life at the end. So this is so dangerous, because we're relying on somebody to say, you have so much time left. And I don't think that there's a person in the world that can definitively tell you that that's going to happen for sure every single time. So I think it's a little bit dangerous to be presenting this. Plus, I think, I don't think there's any dignity in taking somebody's life before it's time. And I certainly wouldn't compare my mother to a dog or a cat. Humans are special, separate from animals, so I certainly think it's merciful to euthanize a cat or a dog, but I don't believe that's so with human beings. Thank you.